Hello, beautiful beings. So I didn't know what I wanted to record about. I just knew that it was like time to record a video for YouTube. And just when I was like about to be like, nah, maybe not, because I have no idea what I'm going to speak about, it came through. So the words that came through was there's a difference between being the weirdo and being weird. So being a weirdo means that like it's like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm that typecast. I'm the weirdo. I'm the one that doesn't belong. I'm the one that's different than everybody. I'm the one that is separate. I'm the one that nobody gets, whatever that branches out to. I'm the weirdo. And there's like a almost like a dysfunctionality to that term in some cultures, like America. It's like, and other countries as well. It's like, oh, you're the weirdo. I've been called the weirdo a lot and really dressed up in that cloak for most of my life, being the weirdo. And I was fine with that. I was like, okay, if that's the part I play, then great. And it started shifting when I actually started getting really weird. Now, getting really weird is different than being the weirdo. It's not a label or being separate from black sheep, outcast. Being weird is more penetrative. It enters the field. It impacts the field. It ripples into the field. It's a way of leadership. So weird, I'm not going to look it up on Google now, but if you look it up, the origin of the word is like supernatural. It's having supernatural abilities, meaning that it's alchemical, basically. So let's demonstrate that. I'm a weirdo versus I am weird. Now, you can even sense in people's essences when they're like, oh, they're a weirdo, like let's just brush it off, versus, oh, that felt weird. That felt weird. That felt like it was shifting me. That felt like I had impact from this person. I don't know what it is. It's a difference between being confident in not belonging versus being confident in leadership. It's literally two totally different things. Being the weirdo opens up susceptibility to being attacked, judged, belittled, and even crucified. Being weird is very different. Being weird is not being part of the flock of sheep. Being weird is intentionally being very acutely aware of the subtleties of the moment and maybe not flowing in the normality of how the environment is flowing. Oh, I'm going to get weird. I'm going to be weird with this. I'm going to look outside the box. Now, even if you are being weird, some people might be like, oh, that's a weirdo. But you'll be able to see yourself clearly. You'll be able to see yourself clearly and your environment clearly, and to actually begin feeling, rather than a shrunken, defective toy, you'll be able to feel and know your impact on your environment, building up confidence, cultivating excitement as a leader. And so I've gone through a very, very big shift, and I'm still going through it, where I would say things about, I think energy is connected to the body. Oh, I think, our thoughts matter. Oh, I think, and people would be like, ugh. I was in environments where it's just like, oh, you're so weird. And so I became this like a comedian, basically, which I love. I love doing comedy. I don't share it much on the channel, but I do a lot of improvised live comedy. And I love it. I love the laughter. I love the giggles. I love being that character, but that doesn't define me where it used to define me. I used to be like, okay, well, if people can't handle me, I'll just say the weird things. And now over time, now that the time has been passing and I see like, oh my God, I actually wasn't the weirdo. I was the leader. I was the foreseer of what's coming and what people are missing out on. And so old societal structures outdated societal structures, stagnant prisons of the mind that people are operating in might cast you as the weirdo, and you might need to play that part of like, okay, I'm the weirdo, but when you bring awareness to what you're doing, you'll allow yourself to be immersed in the weirdness of the moment and really play with it, rather than dressing yourself up with a label and twisting yourself and becoming this character without confidence or without knowing their value. And so for me, I've had more and more confidence now because I see what's happening with humanity. I see that, like things that I thought I was the weirdo for, actually, I found tons of evidence after I was like, you know what, I feel there might be something to this. And I'd be like, oh my God, well, teachers are teaching about this. And oh, I'm not that crazy. And so years and years of me being like, oh my God, I'm not that crazy. And recently it just hit like, oh my God, I've never been crazy. I've been crazy enough to be different or think differently, but I've never been crazy. And this comes up with some rage or anger of like, wow, all that suffering for what? All that depression and contemplating what's wrong with me. If I only knew, or if there was only some mirror around me all those years. And there's a reason for that. If you do feel like you're alone and you're an outcast and like, wow, how can people be speaking the way they're speaking? How can they be doing what they're doing? Like, don't they see? And it's like you feel alone in it. There's a reason for that. And the reason is because this is your unique journey. You are on it because it's your job, soul's excitement. Let's call job soul's excitement, to transmute it through you in your own unique way, and then therefore know exactly how to lead, muse, woo people into better ways of being. Because you were in those hell realms alone. So like the fact that you're in there, like if you are in an environment where like, what is going on? That's your gold. That is your color palette that you get to alchemize with, create with. It's the raw material of you entering this like weird game, the weird game that you're in. And once you find the clues that your soul left for you, you follow that subtle whisper, you will feel weird. Weird things may happen. Supernatural things may happen. You might feel alone in it, or like, oh my God, am I crazy? And if you just stay with the curiosity and really be like, what if I'm not the weirdo? What if I'm actually leading the way for the well-being of all? What if I'm actually leading the way for the well-being of all? What if this is my laboratory that I get to play with? Your self-perception will change. You'll be able to experience what you're in very differently. And you'll get to arrive at that moment where there are others around you who see you and value you sooner. Not that there's like a shortening of the timing of the process we're in, but it will be experienced by you as sooner, because time is an experience. It's not a linear thing, time. Time is how we are experiencing the weaving. The weaving. Not the I'm going to get from A to B. Multidimensional living is weaving, and it's about experience. We're not going to be living in a world anymore, I definitely don't, where it's like point A to B. It's not about controlling getting from point A to B. It's like the universe whips your ass enough to be like, surrender, bitch. Let's get kinky. And my mind went blank. As soon as I said kinky, I just went blank. Kink. Can you feel the difference in being the weirdo versus allowing yourself to get weird? Yeah. Before you know it, you'll be surrounded by people that wouldn't, they see you. They see what you've been doing. It will almost be like a celebration, like, hey, you got through that, want water, want some snacks? Like, I was there too, good job. Like, what did you discover? Let's exchange gifts, let's exchange codes. And then people will come to you for whatever you're doing, whatever you created from that experience. Through that experience, for me, videos have been a process. That's part of my, when I felt alone, my process has been creating art in video. Like if nobody around me can see me, then I'm going to make videos. Maybe there's one person out there who can. And it's amazing the journey I've been on with the videos on the different platforms. It's just like so weird. It's so magical. I'm so grateful to all the beings that I get to adventure with through the quantum field and do what I love. And like, it's like a dream come true. So another really important point is while we're in these processes, is like sharing, somehow sharing your experience through creative expression. Somehow, even if it's one person that sees you, reads you, sees your art, doesn't even know your name, that one ripple is when the universe is like, okay, you got it, you digested it, you alchemized it, you created. And that creation that you birth, whatever that is, music, a random poem, an anonymous account, like whatever that is, however you choose to create, going to the park into some random city and doing like a pop-up dance, like that ripple effects into the field and brings you into realities where there is alignment, because the creation itself digests it. It digests the weirdness around you through art. So let's recap. There's a difference between being the weird one and being weird intentionally. And a lot of the time, what bridges the two is that creation. Even if one person receives that, one person receives your creative expression, that will help bridge you into that reality where you are seen, valued, supported. It really feels like being in a certain video game that you thought was reality and life in the world. And then as you alchemize, you digest, you transmute through your unique nature, it brings you into a different reality. That's how you travel. We don't really need gasoline to travel through the multidimensional realms, multidimensional, where time bends, where space turns into this like plasmic kaleidoscope. And so it's funny because I actually moved in the same town where I thought I wanted to leave, and I moved to be around certain people, and it's like I traveled to another world, but it's the same town I wanted to leave. So again and again, I see this from life, and what life has taught me is that where we're headed is like traveling, like how we're actually going to be traveling is very different than how we're used to. When it's a whole nother topic I'll talk about another time, actually. I'm just going to leave with this little thing to play with. Play with it. Just play. Just play. It's not a threat. You're not going to like, the whole world isn't going to collapse, or just play. Just play to see what it's like. That's the hack. You just play with it. Just play with, like, what if I'm not the weird one? What if I'm the leader and I'm getting weird? I'm making things weird. I'm leading the way. What if I just play with creating this thing and playing with it, reaching one heart? So there's a lot to just play as well. Just play is what it tells the brain is that you're just doing something. It minimizes the danger effects. And play is also like, oh, it's temporary. They're just playing. So when you do something with the preface of I'm just playing, you tell your brain I'm just playing, it actually calms your nervous system. It gives you an immediate signal of safety and says you're just trying something out momentarily. And that becomes like, oh my God, that, like, if you discover that that did something profound of seeing yourself differently, of creating something that reached one person, like that, just playing a little can literally open up worlds of possibility to you. What if you're not a weirdo? What if being weird is the way of alchemical leadership? And what if you sharing your creative expression even with just one person that can flip you into the next octave of resonating with humans around you? Okay, let me know how it goes, okay? And if you would like to dive deeper, I would absolutely love that. The current ways to do so is there is a Theta basic practitioner training. This training is my favorite modality that is not mine, but it's the only modality I trained to train people in because I saw what it did for me and what it was doing for other people. It's basically learning how to hold a theta brainwave state for yourself and others, and what language to use speaking to your own brain to rewrite the programs running your life in the subconscious. The subconscious runs 80% of our life experience, only 20% of it is conscious. And when we're consciously trying to change what is conscious, it feels like banging a head against the wall. And so theta brainwave is a way to use the technology of language to rewrite the programs in the subconscious mind for yourself and others. And this modality also really, like, it brings to life all your natural gifts. So I was an inner child healer and I did theatrical sessions with people and already did like intuitive work with people's bodies for chronic pain. And there's something about theta practitioner training that took my ego mind out of the way and just like opened up my channel to receive the energy of creation flowing through me in my unique way. And it really, sessions since then have become so effortless. And all the people I know that have taken this training, I've seen what it's done to their work in the world. And so this training is a 3-day training. There's one happening at the end of this month. You can find information in the description box below via my Linktree. And then there is also Playful Pathways that is opened up now. This is my baby creation. It is a way of play in your day-to-day to transform, turn prisons of the mind into prisms of the heart. Something like that. It's like the prisons usually come from our mind, and how do we transform that through play into living life as a prism, as a pure possibility heart, like that we can navigate life. I just love saying it over and over, no matter how many times I say it. Can you imagine? So this play methodology, it is a longer journey. I'm currently doing it one-on-one, and I'm going to be connecting people that have done the journey that are ready to embark on this way of play as part of however they are leading, teaching, for play to be a practice of life, to share that practice with other people. And so I could tell you more about that. And there's an application via my Linktree as well. And you can also email me at QuantumPlayAcademy and I can send you information there. Also, I still have curiosity calls because I'm really loving them and they're really inspiring to me. So those are currently still available for now. And yeah, so here we go. Here we go. Here we are. You're doing great. You're not freaking crazy. And get really weird. Thank you for fueling your attention here. Your attention is the most valuable currency on the planet. That's why everything and everybody's like grasping for it. And so thank you for investing the currency of your attention here. It deeply inspires me to know who these videos are reaching. And so like, subscription, comment, it like keeps me being like, oh, this is actually reaching humans. And I'm not only speaking to my iPhone. It's just such a great delight to know that you're out there and that you're resonating. So thank you for being you. Be you, because all the other parts are taken by others. Can you believe that? What a show.